young men are not in positions of privilege in our society now. They do worse in education, they do worse in all sorts of other things, and at the same time, they're being demonized. People often talk about Andrew Tate as a very problematic figure, which it certainly is. But to me, the blame, to me, is the symptom of a much bigger underlying wider problem. The more you try to prevent men from being men, the more you'll get the backlash. And I think people joining Islam, following these hyper masculine influences, like one of the reasons, if you notice, loads of guys are like now into going to the gym and being like, not just going to the gym to like be healthy, but like they're buff, right? Because that's one of the very few acceptable ways for men to be men in modern society, right? Because the things that we conventionally would associate with masculinity, you know, strength, confidence, aggression, dominance, etc., they're kind of looked down upon for guys nowadays.
All right. Hey, what's going on, family? This time for No Picks Podcast.
What's good, family? Joe, No Picks Podcast.
Hey, guys. Angie here.
Hey, what's good, Angie? Welcome back.
All right. So I'm going to go with you with this one. Do you see this male privilege that women talk about online all the time? Do you see it in like real life? And there's no wrong answer. I'm like, just because me and him are men, we're not gonna chop your head off. Like I'm genuinely curious from your perspective as a female. So I'm interested.
Ask the question again. I thought you was talking to Joe first.
No. Do you see this male privilege that women talk about all the time online?
I'm going to ask for a definition because male privilege in like.
So,
I'm not associating that with what he was describing, like to be masculine and those things, like being confident, being dominant, being strong. Like I don't hear women contesting that. Like, no, I don't want.
No, they do though. Okay.
Well, you asking me? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So when I say male privilege, I mean like the patriarchy. You know how? All right. Maybe that would be a bit better phrase to say it. Do you see this invisible patriarchy that women talk about all the time online?
I see it. Yes.
Okay.
See it.
In what ways? In what ways?
I guess it would be. I might have said yes to keep the peace because not really.
Nah. Tell us how you really feel, man. Tell us how you really feel.
No, I mean I don't see it. I don't think that's the case. I don't know. Like I don't agree. Like I don't agree.
Okay.
So I can't give you an example because I don't know.
Okay.
Listen.
Give me a second. Give me some more. Let me hear some more talking. But yeah.
So same question, Joe. Do you see this patriarchy that women love to complain about online?
I like how you try to be non-biased but biased at the same time. Like you're clearly on a side. Like
right.
What's a better way to phrase the question?
They don't love. It's the adjectives that women love to. Like it's that's not.
But it's true though. It's a thing.
But they don't love to.
They do love to talk about. All right, let Joe. So, what's your thought? Do you see the patriarchy in real time?
I think that it's still there. I see remnants of the patriarchy, right? I definitely feel like we still have people who adhere to the patriarchal system, still have those patriarchal values instilled in them. I just feel like for the past maybe like 3 or 4 decades, the patriarchy has been demonized. The patriarchy is now the enemy. The patriarchy is now Big Brother. The patriarchy is now like the boogeyman. The patriarchy is the reason why the world has gone to trash. Like everything is blamed on the patriarchy, right? So I do think it exists. I definitely have those values heavily instilled in me. I do believe in the patriarchal system. I do see the benefits of it. I'm okay with being able to see that a system is not perfect and that maybe we got certain things wrong in the past, and then adjusting that and moving accordingly. But I definitely feel like we've thrown it out the window to the detriment of society, in my opinion. But yeah, I do see it here and there. I do feel like our society is becoming more, I wouldn't say matriarchal, but I definitely feel like women have way more voice and more power than they did before, and they're using that. I don't know. I guess It's like,
Is that to our detriment?
well,
Yeah.
the lack of patriarchy, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's
No, but the rise of matriarchy in whatever way,
yeah,
in any way, is a negative.
not in any way. I mean, there are positives
Okay.
to it, but remember, matriarchy means that the women are the leaders, the women are the shot callers, the women are the ones who are in charge and shaping culture. And by that, I say, nah.
Well, yeah, I can
You
agree
know
with
what I
that,
mean?
but I
That's
guess
when I think of matriarchy. That's what I think about it. So, like, if that's the
right.
system, I'm like, where in society at all have we, other than like the DC comic area where we see the Amazonians and Wonder Woman, where else in the world have we seen a matriarchal society that survived the test of time and function
Never.
and be safe and
Right.
protected? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, no, I
You
agree. I
know?
definitely believe
So
in the
that's
matrix. I
yeah,
do. I hear what you're saying.
yeah. That's
I
all.
guess when I heard you say like women have become more like boisterous and more like there's a world where you can be that and still know your place as a woman, right?
Right.
So like yes, I have an opinion and if I was born decades ago, they would have probably been like this girl is tripping, right? But I also know my place in society, especially when it comes to a patriarchy, right? I know that in the household, a man is in charge. I understand and respect those things, but I still think that I have more power than I would have 50 or 60 years ago. In
Right.
that I have a voice, my opinion matters, like, you know what I mean? Like all the things I'm working just like my husband's working, but I understand my role as a wife and his as a husband.
Right.
So I think the two things can be true.
I agree. I think two things can be true. I agree. Do you feel like for the gentleman who spoke in the beginning, the clip that we're reacting to, do you think that patriarchy or masculinity in modern society? Let's just speak for America, right? Because other countries are
Okay.
different. In America or in Western society, do you think it's been demonized? Do you think that it's a negative thing now in the mainstream? Like, how do you think masculinity and patriarchy is viewed now in current society?
So I don't think it's been demonized, but I think it's been softened a whole hell of a lot. Like to be masculine now is accepting of a lot of non-masculine things, i.e., these tight clothes, wearing purses, and all. Like that's not. So I don't think the patriarchy is demonized because I respect it, but I think masculinity is taking on this new definition where it's like I can be masculine and wear this skirt, and it's like no, you can't.
Oh, interesting point. I'm not gonna disagree with that. Ty, how do you feel, bro? Where you at on this, bro? You
So
know, Ty got to go in.
He about to,
He about to be like, man,
man,
women.
man.
so so my thing is this. So the boy said his whole premise was men aren't privileged in society today. And I agree. So there is one instance, and I was thinking about this. There's one instance to where I think as men we're privileged in society. And I think you would agree with this, Joe. So like when we if you leave out your house, 3 o'clock in the morning to go for a run or go to the gym or do literally anything you want to do, you're not fearful of something happening to you. Like you're like, okay, if something does happen to me, I can defend myself. I'm perfectly fine because I'm not really worried about my safety because I can defend myself. Right now, that's a that's a wi-
It's a
that's a
privilege.
false sense. That's a privilege. Yeah. So that's the one and only way in society I think that we're privileged today. In any other way, I don't think we're privileged at all. So let's just take the roles in the family. The roles in the family, you're expected today to just shut the f up and then provide, regardless of what you're getting on the other end, right? So you're still expected to handle your traditional masculine roles, regardless of the rhetoric, but she's not expected to handle her traditional feminine roles. So that's a way that where the women benefit. Men don't benefit in that situation. It's that situation is to our detriment.
But could a woman go ahead finish?
And the whole gender pay gap. Like women love to talk like gender pay gap, but that theory has been debunked by a million different economists, right? Like there really isn't a gender pay gap. Because what they take into account in the gender pay gap is who takes off more. Women have kids. Women take off for a year. Even without kids, yes, they do.
Year?
What do you mean? Like women take off more than men. Women work less than men. That's not really a disputable fact. That's just a fact.
No, it was the year for me when you have a baby. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so okay, women take off more than men. With or without kids, they vacation more than men. They work less than men, across careers.
Well,
That's
how does
just
that
what it
affect the
is.
salary though? If you have paid
Well, if
time
you work
off?
less, you make less money.
Well,
if the
that's not
dudes are
true.
working,
If you're working salary, if I'm
well,
using paid time off, regardless
okay,
of
so
how
me
much
and
I
my
use,
coworker, that's a female, we make the same amount of money. But I make if I work more, I make more than her because I make overtime.
I mean,
If she's,
assuming that you can get overtime, now that's a different
yeah,
type of privilege.
well, what I'm saying is, men work more than women. That's not really a disputable. That's not disputable.
No, I'm just saying,
that's
what
a
does
legit
that
thing.
have to do with the point that you're making if we're talking about salaries and paid time off? Like,
Well, but
assuming
I'm saying,
overtime, because everybody doesn't have overtime, right? Overtime is not a thing for everybody, right? Some people, it's not. If I stay to work until 7 o'clock, at 3:30, my clock stops. Anything
but
after
you
that
make
is
okay. But so if you work in the summer, you make more money than what you would if you just worked in the winter, right?
correct.
Okay, so that's that you're working more, so you're
No,
making
but
more money.
no. What I'm saying is,
I'm listen. However you want to frame it, you're working more. You could work just the 9 months out the school year, or you could work more and then make more money.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, if I guess what it sounds like you're saying is that women take off more. But what I'm saying is, regardless, if I'm using my time that I'm allotted, if you're making $10,000 more than me for doing the same job, and they're
But that's
calling
not a
that a
thing,
gender
though.
pay gap.
But that doesn't happen though. Like that we.
Oh.
Okay, let's think about this logically, right, Joe? Let me ask you, Joe. You're a masculine man, right? You're a masculine man. You love titties. You like boxing matches. You love masculine shit, right?
It's true.
You like drinking beer, right? Okay,
All
cool.
facts. It's true.
Let's just say let's say you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company,
All right.
right? You got me and Angie going for a job at your company, right? We got the same resume. Our resumes look immaculate. So you call us in for an interview, right? At the interview, I tell you, hey, you know what? I'm not doing this job for nothing less than $80,000 a year. You're like, all right, cool. I can swing that. All right, cool. No problem. 2 weeks later, she comes in for an interview. She's like, all right, I'll do it for 50. We could do the same exact job. Who are you going to hire as the CEO of that company?
So their resume is the same, right? All things being equal, except for different genders.
I'm asking for 80. She asking for 50.
I mean, if I'm going to get the same quality, I'm going to pay the person who's asking for less.
Exactly. It doesn't. The logic of paying
I'm trying to
women
figure
less
out where we're going with this.
well, I'm calling to a. I'm bringing up the logic of this argument of paying of women making less. If women would have a monopoly on a working system on jobs, if you could just legally pay them less money, it doesn't make sense.
But it's not something that's okay.
It doesn't make sense. Why would an employer employ somebody for something that they can just get another person to do the same job at less money?
I hear what you're saying, but there's a world where people's resumes are the same. They are capable and qualified in the same ways, but men are getting paid more. That's a thing.
If you were an employer, wouldn't you hire the person that you can
I hear
pay
what you're
less?
saying, what the logic is. I'm talking about what actually happens. I hear what you're saying, but I think both things can be true.
Because if you're hiring people based off their gender and you're paying them more, aren't you hurting your own self-interest? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
So you think people are like, oh no, fuck these chicks, I'm gonna hire these men because like it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense.
I hear what you're saying. Like, it doesn't make sense, but that doesn't.
But you're saying there's a lot of men out there still doing it, even though it makes them less money.
What I'm saying is, what you're saying makes sense. As a CEO, of course, you would hire the cheaper labor if you're going to get the same outcome. I hear what you're saying. I would do that too if I was a CEO. And blah blah blah. What I'm saying to you is, what's also true, no matter how much sense it makes, is that there are places where men and women are equal, and the man is getting paid more. I don't care how much sense it makes, because it doesn't, but it exists. That's all I'm saying.
Is that the exception or the rule?
Whether the CEO is an idiot or not.
Is that the exception or the rule? Because I'm sure there's a place somewhere where there are two people equally qualified, one man, one woman, and maybe the man gets paid less. We could definitely find an example of that.
Yeah, there's people like Hannibal Lecter, as he would like to say.
But
there's always
that's at Google.
There are people. So there are people who've jumped off a bridge and survived.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to go around saying, yo, if you jump off a bridge, you're going to live. I'm not going to go around with confidence telling people, yo, jump off a bridge, you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what I'm trying to say is we can find the exceptions, but like if you base an argument or base an entire narrative or statistic or an entire narrative or school of thought on an exception, I just feel like that's
Right.
just like that's not the route you want to go. You know what I mean? Like I'm still not gonna jump off a
Right.
bridge because one person survived,
Right.
or because you know what I mean. Like you know what I mean? I'm not. I'm just trying to say
Yeah.
like I hear your point. I'm just trying to figure out like, all right, so
What's more likely? I guess what's like what is a rational human being more likely to do? Hire the person that they can pay less and keep more of their money to buy lamb and hookers and coke, or
What?
are they going
love
to
you,
say,
though.
hey, you know what? I just want to hire the man so we could drink beer together and go golfing
that's-
together. Like, no, you're
It's
not
more
going to
likely
do
the
that.
other way around.
yeah.
What other way? What other way around are you talking about?
No, it's what you're saying is right. That's the more likely.
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I just
Well, wait,
'cause it-
we kind of got off topic because what I was going to say about the male, we were talking about patriarchy, right? Oh, did I lose my train of thought? What I was about to bring up or ask, I think it's going now. We got too far off because I was going to ask something about feminine. Maybe it'll come back to me, maybe not. We got too far off, but it had something to do with what we were originally talking about.
Well,
Maybe it'll come back.
so all right, so before, so yes, so the gender pay gap, whether it's real or not, I think it's BS. Ty thinks it's BS. I'm sure Angie probably thinks it does exist. That's fine, right? But as far as
It makes sense that y'all feel that way.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna go back into it. I'm not gonna go back into it.
It
I'm not.
makes sense.
I'm not
I
gonna go back.
understand.
listen, hey yo, I would never hire men. I would, if I had a company, I would hire all women because I can pay you 62 cents on the dollar. I'd be
Right.
like, I can legally pay you less money. I'm like, okay, cool. Who the hell would hire the person that they have to pay? It just doesn't make it. This is just a talking point that women like. Anyway,
But do you think so, Angie? Do you think that he said that one of the few places that men can be masculine is the gym, right? So to bring it back to this idea of
Oh, right.
masculinity just kind of being demonized or just being like, men are being stigmatized for trying to be masculine. Like, I mean, I definitely feel like
Oh, it came back.
I mean, social media is there's a lot of there's a lot of crazy people on social media, right? But I find it common to see women saying men are the reason why there's war. Men are the reason why there's sexual assault. Men are the reason why the world is the way that it is. Like men just being men are the reason why the world is so effed up. And I see that. So I see that more often than not. And maybe my algorithm is jacked up. I wish I could get it out of my algorithm. You know what I mean? But like, it's something that I see. Like, men are blamed for some of the most horrible things. Remember, would you choose the bear over a man? That wasn't that long ago when women were literally saying, "I'd rather be in the forest or in the woods with a bear than with a man." You know what I'm saying? Like, so like this is something that people are discussing on social media. So like, I don't know, Angie, like, do you just think that it's far-fetched to say that masculinity is still demonized? Like, do you think like, you really don't think that right now it's frowned
I
upon?
don't like demonized though. I think that I mean I hear what you're saying. I don't think that it's demonized. Like I said, I think that it's just there's like this because what you said reminded me of what I was going to say. Because to Tyrese's point that he made, that he said when he was talking about the expectation of men and then women being the benefits of that, because the expectation is for men to provide and do all the things, and then women are on the receiving end of it and not supposed to take on the roles that they were supposed to take. Is that fair to say? To
100,000%. Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
But I think that where the disconnect or where the overlap of like gender roles and maybe this demonization of the patriarchy may come in, because unlike myself, which I can only speak for, maybe women are saying, okay, cool, you want me to do these things, right? But I'm working too. So now I'm doing more than I would if this was 1940 and you were doing all the work. And so with that comes this arrogance that they as women have more power, and it kind of overlaps and it demonizes the patriarchy and the role of a man, because it's like, oh, I'm working too. So now we're equal in all aspects. I disagree, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, right? So it's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna do all of the things that the women did then, but I'm also working now too. So yes, I'm still cooking. I'm still allowing you to do making all these financial choices with the money that you're bringing in and the money I'm bringing in. They're probably like, no. And this is where the start of that rise of matriarchy and the demonizing or so of patriarchy may come in. Now, I don't believe that, right? Like, I work, obviously, like, I make the same amount, if not than my husband or whomever that I'm choosing to be with, but I still know my role as a female within a relationship, right? It's not, oh, I'm working, I'm bringing in $90,000, so nigga, you better, like, no, I understand that, but I'm thinking, and I know people who are like, no, actually, if I'm bringing in 90K, I got something to say, and you won't listen to it, right?
I'm glad.
I'm gonna cook your dinner, but I'm also bringing in this 90K like you. So what exactly are you doing? Because now you're benefiting. Because now you're getting all of the domesticity, and I'm matching your 90K.
Right.
So now who's benefiting?
I mean, leeches do exist. I'm not saying that every man is going to leech when a woman is making more, but that is a circumstance where
Not even more, the same,
or even
I
the same.
mean,
Yeah,
or less, anything, right?
Yeah.
If you're making 100K and I'm making 80, it's still the argument is still I'm bringing in $80,000.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah. Well, I mean that's fair. That's fair. All right, let's open up to the family. I would say. Let's let us know what y'all think, family. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.
All right. Until next time, y'all.